RiverBender.com.
I wanna be high, so high. I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. I wanna be free, just me, oh man.
Welcome back, 1038, a little bit of change. Principia College joins us now on the show. We have John Williams, who's a JD mediation team coach, professor, and past college president of Principia. Did I leave any of the titles out?
Oh, that's enough, CJ. Thank you very much. That's enough.
I'm so excited to have you in the studio. I really am, because I read this press release that Carrie sent out just a couple of days ago.
Right.
And I thought how great of an opportunity this mediation team, because I didn't even know this existed, to be quite honest with you, and how unique of an opportunity this is for so many young people pursuing this career.
Sure. And mediation being an alternative to litigation, to going to court with the win laws. I was just listening to an ad for one of the big law firms in St. Louis, and we win for you, which means someone's going to lose for you. Why not find a way of resolving your conflicts where you bring the pressure down, bring in a mediator who's a nonpartisan sort of person with a skill to build trust and work with the two sides to find something mutual.
And how did this develop? Was this something that other colleges were doing that Principia adapted to, or?
Well, it turns out that Principia has been involved in intercollegiate competition since about 2012, which is early on. There is an International Academy of Dispute Resolution, professional mediators who've gotten together and through that have training programs. And one of them actually happens to have been father-in-law of our first coach. So there was a personal connection there. A gentleman by the name of Dick Calkins. He's still active, does training. I took one of his professional training courses, takes a full term, a lot of attorneys, judges, retirees getting back in, and then figuring out how do you start developing the next generation. Right. And they came up with a national intercollegiate competition. It's actually now international. We had a team from Singapore down at the competition we were at in Florida. And then there's an international law school competition, which I'm going to put in a plug. This year we didn't make the finals. We didn't quite hit the finals in the national intercollegiate, because if you make number 1 or number 2, Holy Cross beat us and Boston. So those are the type of schools we're competing with. University of Texas, University of Florida. But if the top 2 undergraduate teams in the world get to go to the international law school competition, which it's a fun thing to go to. You don't expect much.
Right.
Last year we were one of the 2 finalists up in Chicago. We made a showing, but you're up against law students who are doing this professionally. The year before we went to the internationals at Bologna, Italy. There are 4 top awards, one for best mediator, because that's where we're training, one for best team showing of mediation, one for attorney advocate pairs. You have a client and they have an advocate, usually an attorney, on both sides. So we have 4 top awards. Principia, undergraduate school, takes number 1 in team mediation.
That's incredible.
Beating like 48 other law schools.
I love it.
Including Berkeley.
No way.
Oh, it's one of those things. It was how it happened. We just had an incredible team, and the young gal who is now in law school, I think at USC, who sort of represented the team in that final round. And sitting watching, you sort of go, is this an undergraduate? No, this is already someone who's developed the expertise and the ability to sort of help both sides come to a mutual resolution.
Well, and truly, with that, accolade too, and acknowledgement, it shows how great, our judicial system is, truly, where you don't have to be the multi-million-dollar, law firm and they're going to win every time. If you have a good team and you know what you're doing, you can accomplish something sometimes.
Sure, sure. And the field of mediation as an alternate to going to court. Right. Sue the bastards. Right. I'm JD, as you mentioned, and was originally a litigator and was a prosecutor with the federal government for a while and then had my own law practice. When a client came and said, I'm so angry, John, we're going to sue him, we're going to take him to court. Oh, God, no, you didn't say that, did you? Well, no, not yet, but no, calm, let's calm down, because the first thing that happens is you've already set up an opposition. There's not going to be a resolution. You're already going to do battle.
Yeah.
Why not? Because the thing I did love about private practice was doing what I call preventative law. Mm-hmm. That is writing a really good contract. The landlord agreement.
Yep.
And I can remember times where a client would come in and said, well, here's one that they're proposing. It's 3 pages. And, a week later, I turn it into 15. And I go, I hate attorneys. I pay for time. And now he turned it into 15 pages. And I had one situation where there was a conflict, having a restaurant and a truck stop, pretty complex sort of thing. And he called me up and said, we're going to sue. And I go, no, let's work this out.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't I didn't foresee the specific problem, but I had written it such a way that I said, go back to the fellow and have this conversation. And I didn't hear from my client for 3 weeks. I finally called, whatever happened? He said, I did exactly what you did. I didn't mention lawyer. I didn't mention lawsuit. I just said, if you don't correct this, I can't have a restaurant here and the truck stop's not going to be successful. And you agreed that if there's a problem on the outside that has an impact on the inside, you'll pay for it. Oh, well, what happened? He said he agreed on the spot to make $30,000 repairs. Right.
Amazing.
Like that. No conflict. And I said, and how much did I cost you? John, I get it. You are worth every penny. You helped me make money.
Right. Well, and see, this is so fascinating that you bring this up, because so many times it seems like we're always in this battle in life, no matter what. It's just like the fight or flight for so many people, where if something doesn't go, if something's not going right and, something happens, you're right. The first thing is, I'm calling who, and I'm going after you, and I'm going to own you. And how important is it, though, not only just for personal sides of things when it comes to legal matters, but also just for, using the law to help build communities and shape them. You have to be,
You've got it. When we approach a case, and I approach training, the first thing we ask is a mock case, because you're trying to help train up these young people to listen, to be perceptive, to be fair, to be humble, and to help opposing sides. And there's one category which we call facilitative. That is, you've got a dispute, a civil dispute of some sort, a company with a vendor or a supplier or client or something like that, and you don't want to go to court because it's going to cost you money. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a long time. You lose control of the timing. And of course, time is money with lawyers, and it's public. I mean, if you go to court,
it's out
everybody hears it. So what happens if you want to get together and, one side, they know they're wrong, but the other side did something too, and they both have some fault, and one of them could look like a schmuck and the other could lose some business, and they want to work it out privately.
Right.
And and when it's done, we walk away. We sign that contract. You actually enthrone it in a contract. We abide by this. We agree to keep silent or whatever. Mm-hmm. The other type is what's called transformational, where usually it's families.
Oh.
And so the messiness is, you as the mediator is not only going to resolve it so they both walk away feeling they won something. Mm-hmm. It's gone faster. The client controls it. If they don't like what's going on, you can go to court if you want to. You don't have to stay with the mediator.
Right.
But the mediator guarantees absolute confidentiality. And if you want it to be confidential, the world doesn't have to know your private affairs in a family.
Right.
And of course, how do you help them transform? Because you got to live together, or this or that.
Well, and see, that's another fascinating concept too, because you're almost playing two roles. You're playing the role of mediator, but also in a weird way, you're playing the role of a counselor sometimes, especially around wills, because people are holding grudges for 25 years, and because Aunt Sally didn't come to Grandma's funeral in 1947. It better than I do.
Oh, sure. And so one of the things that a mediator is trained to do is to get down at the deeper issues.
Yeah.
It may not be the money. In fact, one of our mentors who does training tells a great story about two gals that were fighting over something. It was probably a small business deal of some sort. Yeah. And they were and somehow in the conversations that were going on, it was an in-person one, or you can do it on Zoom. A lot of it's gone to Zoom, where you can put
Has
them
it
in,
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, so it could be, and
no worry about button heads.
exactly, and getting physically. You could literally turn them off or put them into a Zoom room.
Right. That's smart.
And so a lot of mediation, the two sides may never see each other.
Wow.
And it depends on the mediator and how you want to work with that. I mean, mediation actually starts earlier when, say, the two attorneys come together and go, we can move this quicker. We can have our clients. We think it'll be resolved.
How many times have you? And I don't want to put this out there like you have done this, but if it's happened, where you go to a court case or you go into trial, and you and the attorney on the other side of the aisle, they're both looking at each other, going, We could have easily avoided this, but we had some clients that decided we couldn't do this. So have you ever had that with a lawyer on the other side?
No, that happens a lot.
Does it really?
Maybe not as much when you're deep into litigation, but in the process of going to litigation. In fact, I'm not sure of this, but every state has at least an option, and many states actually give judges the power to require mediation before.
Really?
And some states have mandatory mediation, particularly if it involves custody of a minor child.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to talk about something that'll rip people apart,
I couldn't do that job.
Why not just calm it down?
Yep.
Work with the attorneys, because they want to be known as successful. They want to be known as people that can get the job done at a reasonable cost, reasonable time, and while the clients may not have gotten everything they wanted, they can walk away feeling it mattered, it cared.
Yeah.
And so even attorneys are starting to turn to it as an alternative. Our court system is so backlogged anyway.
That's what I was going to ask, because it seems like not even just, I remember when I was with Ray over in St. Louis, it was doing, it was right when Kim Gardner was going through the rounds, and the backlogs, but it was a nationwide problem. It's not just a St. Louis County problem.
And it's going to get worse.
Wow.
My original bar association is Virginia, and they've already identified that there's going to be a shortage of lawyers for the state of Virginia. And you're like, how do you get... I've been telling my students, if you want a profession, wait, yeah.
No kidding.
Right, and you don't have to be competitive, because there are these other forms, arbitration,
right,
negotiation, mediation is one of these. There are different types of it that you can get involved in, depending on your skill set.
Well, take me through some of your team, if you will, too.
Okay. I
would love to get to know some of the students that you have, because they seem very intelligent and bright if they're able to achieve all of this.
Well, here's one of the markers. Is that now I've been involved. I'm now officially the coach, and my successor is retired. But there was an overlap of about 4 years where I was stepping in, traveling with him. I actually took the team to Greece at one of the competitions when he couldn't do it. And then the International Law School is every year, Chicago 1 year, and then abroad the next year. And so right now it'll come up in April. It'll be in Tbilisi, Georgia, which would be a cool place.
It ain't Greece.
No, it ain't Greece. Yep, the Greece was a lot of fun.
I bet it was.
But Bologna, Italy was fun because we did so well. And the students are just incredible, because it's for the college, it's not a course. It's an extracurricular activity. And so we can't, if you're not prepared, you aren't going to go.
Right.
But they are committed. We have had 4 students get all paid scholarships to the law school at Mizzou.
Really?
Every one of them went through the mediation program. Now, that's both mediation is good training and great resume value, but that's the quality of the students.
True.
That they could go, here I am, here are my grades, here's my resume. And now one of them's a county prosecutor in one of the smaller counties in central Missouri. It's just
wonderful.
It's that quality of thought that's already there. Another thing, and this may be, and I'm actually associated with private institutions like Principia, Grace College, which is a Brethren institution, those with a religious background, where one is thinking from a spiritual religious perspective of, I don't mean to proselytize, but but I look at those that come out of state institutions versus those that come out of ones with some religious heritage. And you sort of go, well, but peacemaking is part of it. And, the Beatitudes, for example, blessed are the peacemakers, that sort of thing.
Right.
And so I can remember we went over to, actually the national undergraduate competition was over in Winona at Grace College. And they're brethren. You don't have to be a member of the denomination, but there's something in the air are these schools where, listen, you're going to find another way.
That's so fascinating because you're right. It's an aurora. It seems like and it doesn't matter. And just from my perspective in media, when you go to these huge, massive colleges where it's like, well, the Walter Cronkite School, well, it's great to have, and if you did it, you earned it. But when you go and you see, more of, and again, not trying to throw anything on anybody, but more, more faith-based, environments.
Right.
It's a more of a community mindset, and I think a community mindset's how you're successful in mediation. Just from hearing you speak a little bit.
Right. And so we've done well on the mediation side. Where I was brought in originally was because in competition, there are 3 roles, and everyone has to do each of the 3 roles, and you rotate it. And so there's always got to be at least 3 rounds in any competition. Then there might be semifinals and finals. Mediator, which is the core. And then everyone has to play a client once, and that's a lot of fun for the actors. One of the guys is just he could be an actor, just ham it up, or I'm a heart attack, or I hate his guts, or he killed a dog, that sort of thing. And then the third is the advocate, and these days it's often an attorney because you're in a legal context, and eventually the mediation will be enforced through a contract. And so they rotate these, and the difficulty is most of our students who just by inclination and upbringing are used to being a peacemaker approach. Is there another approach?
Yeah.
Whatever your denomination may be. They weren't advocates. How do you stand up and say, wait a minute, there is a line here,
right,
and we demand no less than $100,000 for this. And so, John, can you come in and sort of bolster the advocacy? How do you construct an argument?
Right.
Now, it's not beat the living crap out of someone.
Right.
But it is, you've got to help this person put forward their pain, their interest, that sort of thing.
This is a question for, is it, I don't want to use the term easy, but I have to just in the sense of the question. Is it easier to be a litigator than a mediator in terms of just how you have to approach and how you work with people? Because to me, I feel like it would be a lot easier for me to kick the door in and try to take you on in court because I'm not trying to work with you anymore. I'm just trying to get to the finish line. But in mediation, you can't do, you really have to think. Right.
Well, I'm going to back up a little bit. We'll say, kick the door, you don't have to work together. And it's fun because I know a number of I'm not from here. I'm from a military family and then went to school on the East Coast, but lived here about 40 years and have gotten to know a lot in the law field here. And there's a clear line between the old timers who think gladiator. This is what should be in your mind. You think gladiator, and that is you're hired to do the job, and the ethics code probably says zealously for your client. Not illegally, don't cross the line. You've got to be legal, but your job is not the victim, not this, your specific client. And I've had clients in my time where I sort of went, God, I wish I didn't have them.
Right, I was going to ask you.
And that's where I learned everyone has a right to an attorney. No one has a right to me.
That's actually a good point, too.
And which meant I would turn down clients. And when you're in private business, that can be hard.
Scary.
But the thing that I loved was I am part of that generation that when you went into court and then afterwards you left it there, and you were friends with these people.
You went and had golf games, or you went and had dinner somewhere.
That sort of thing. I can remember one case back in the East Coast where I was traveling hours to where the case was and home, and the opposing attorney came to me. Of this generation of it was a profession, not a business.
Yeah.
You're professionals. When you're in court, you know your job.
Yeah.
And when you're out of court, no, you're professionals. This is part of something grander. And he would go, John, you keep commuting. We've got an extra bedroom. Why don't you stay here? And I go, Jim, I can't do that. Well, no, you can't. No. How does it look that the opposing counsels are living together? Oh, you're right. I like you.
Right.
You like me. We get along really well.
Right.
We can negotiate. We can talk out these issues on the side and help our clients.
This is so cool. You're 100% right, though. It's just the sense of that sportsmanship aspect, too. When you're leaving the field as a kid and you're shaking hands no matter if you win or lose, and you can fight as hard as you want to fight, and you can kick down, you can kick whatever, but at the end of the day, it's got to be respectful to where you know what your role is. It's not the grander movie we're trying to tell.
Exactly, and you will find I've enjoyed getting to know more and more of the lawyers. Of course, I know most of them up in Jersey County that are sort of go, yeah, John, we know what's been happening.
Real quick, John, we do have a breaking news alert.
Sure.
We were waiting on the official report from Chris Rhodes. The Alton Police Department is investigating a shooting incident that occurred at 6:42 p.m. Yesterday in the 1200th block of College Avenue. Here's what we know on this. Very serious. The department received multiple calls reporting gunfire as an Alton School District bus was dropping off night students in the area. The preliminary reports do indicate that the students exited the bus. Multiple individuals began shooting in the direction of the student. Fortunately, neither the bus nor individuals were struck by gunfire. The bus driver responded quickly, moving to a safe location, and followed safety protocols to protect the remaining students on board. Alton Police Chief and Alton School District Superintendent Elaine Kane have communicated regarding this incident, and Chief Ford has praised the bus driver for their quick thinking, emphasizing the importance of community safety, especially with children. We will keep you updated as we do hear more on this. Anyone with information is urged to contact 618-463-3505, and you can see that right up now at RiverBender.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with a little bit more of this conversation and wrap up Thursday all in the same breath.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
But I keep on thinking about you, sister golden hair surprise. And I just can't live without you. Can't you see it?
The best quality content is whenever I'm talking to a guest during commercial break when you can't hear it. I really have always said that. The best part of my show is the one they can't hear. But I really enjoyed having you on today, John. And sorry we had to take a brief little pause there.
No, that's all right.
Really, just want to learn a little bit more. I do have a picture of a few of the students that Carrie sent me and would love to give them some. My eyes are bad. Hold on, I got to hit zoom on this because I can't see no more. Oh, nope, CJ cam. This one.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
And that's that's not the whole group, correct?
Well, the team is much larger than that. These were two firms, the two groups of three. They went down to Florida a couple of weeks ago, and 4 of their awards that they achieved, both as individual in a role or on behalf of their team. Mm-hmm. The team overall in their rotation scored well.
This is really well, and getting back into this too, just a few questions about the team a little bit. What specific skills or qualities truly do you emphasize when you're talking with these students in this group, to really get the most out of this experience for them?
Well, what's most important are the skills of being a good mediator, which is going in without a bias. I don't argue for sympathy. I do argue for empathy. Sympathy is feeling bad for someone. Empathizing is trying to understand. Yep. Developing the skill of listening, which we've kind of lost the skill of reading, but we've lost the skill of listening. And that is not just hearing the words, but what are the emotions? And when you're on social media where it's flat and you don't see the expressions and you can't respond directly, the medium actually does something to change the communication.
That's such a fascinating point. And but I saw it during COVID, because you start to slow down and you see how the world's really operating and what's really going on, because you get out of your routine and you open your eyes a little bit more. And the conversations that. It's so weird for me to say this. In 2004 and 6, it was like this really, I go back to that and my brain thinks it's 1980s with cherry pies and Chevrolet trucks everywhere because of just that sense of community all the time. And people were, hey, how are you? And it was empathetic conversation. It wasn't, well, you did it to yourself there. How many times did I try to tell you that? And social media became this point of where I'm going to air my first thought out.
Right.
The first thing I think of is going right out there.
Did I say that aloud?
Right. And it's just so fascinating to see that. And you see it overtaking legal systems, because it seems like, and you know so much more about this than I do, but just some of the court documents or videos that I see, because they have some really good YouTube channels now that go through and dissect. It's the same kind of mentality like you were hitting at earlier.
And so that interpersonal communication, which can happen with a mediator, of sensing that there's something going on with the client. Yeah. And it may be that you call a break. And there are different techniques of either being together or calling breaks, or and mediation can happen over a long period of time if need be.
How long can a session of a mediation session take? I mean, really start to finish. If you had to, could you take years?
No, you wouldn't take years.
Okay, so nothing like that crazy.
Right. It's not like some of the...
Right.
I mean, we've had some of the lawsuits here that have gone on. I mean, people have... Either the great one out of, St. Clair County, where the two jurors fell in love, got married, had a child before the case was over.
No way.
Oh, yeah. So it's... and that's a law case. But no, mediation, at a certain point, the attorneys will a good mediator, and this is where, say, former judges are really good at this, because they have a sense of what'll happen. If you went to court, I've been a judge for so long, or like a personal injury attorney could be a good mediator, because they have a sense of that type of injury in this type of circumstance, this is what you'd get in court.
Gotcha.
You don't want to go to court because you're going to lose, and you'll probably lose badly.
Right.
So let's go to mediation and work this out so everyone gets a win, as opposed to getting a slam badly.
You've been around various roles and your background and all of this. What have you gained from the students?
Well,
if anything.
One of the things is this is an opportunity for me to be closer than just a platform lecturer or a grader, to understand. Now, I'm back this is my first year back teaching after 4 years of being president and a year on sabbatical. And the generation of students has changed.
Really?
Incredibly. I thought that last term was the worst term in my 40 years of teaching, because I was just like, what are these creatures?
A lot of people air that same sentiment, though. Teachers, a lot of professors do, yeah.
But the thing that I discovered in the success, and continues to success, and my wife is really good at this, because she is a hugger. She is a personal contact person, and she expresses herself and care that way. And as president, we got to know the students individually on the teams, and then I just, not knowing quite how to work with my students, did my old thing of they're individuals. You care for them individually. You talk to them in the hall. You go to their games. You go to their presentations, that sort of thing. And they'll start opening. Ultimately, they're still, they're still children who want to be cared.
Yep. True.
Who want to be cared. And it turns out that everybody does.
It's not, you just hit it on the head because it ain't just children. I mean, how many times did you just know somebody that just needed that pat on the back and going, man, what an excellent project you were working on. I mean, that goes above and beyond anything.
Can I have a copy of it?
Right.
That sort of thing. Can I get my camera out and take a picture of the notes or something like that? Or I did serve as faculty senate president for a number of terms. And I realized early on that when a student comes in the classroom and they're grumpy, they're not grumpy at you. No. They've just been dropped by their boyfriend or their girlfriend.
Right.
Or their parents are going through, or they've lost a family member. There's so many things going on in their lives. Would you have the empathy to listen and figure that out and treat them as an individual? And I realized in my first, this is decades ago, as my first round was being faculty senate president, adults are going through what's happening in their family. Is there an illness, a spouse? What about the mortgage? And all those sorts of things, and going, we've got to care for each other.
Right.
And that's what got me through the teaching and, coming back into all this technology and everything's on Zoom or you've got computerized platforms that I'm so archaic about.
So am I. I work for a company that's all tech and I can't figure it out. I really don't. I just talk into this thing.
You're lucky then. Makes that easy. But people essentially are still the same. We are social beings.
100%, and it plays out, just kind of circling back to the mediation realm so many times over. I got one last fun question. It's a CJ question. Would Judge Judy be a good mediator? Judge Judith Shineland.
What, judged me?
No, would Judge Judy be a good mediator?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, interesting. I was serious. It was a serious question.
Yeah. I have to think about, and I haven't watched her in a long time. Think about, actually, she might be, because she interrupts and going, with these sort of, but if you say that and do this and demand that, this could happen.
Right.
Now that's the mediator shouldn't say that. That's what the advocate should say. And talking with some of the best mediators, like former judges, one of the things they do is they bring in the advocates and go, okay, what are your clients are out to the side. The clients have given permission for us, the three, to talk. What are your opening demands? Well, and someone with a lot of experience in court will go, you're out of your ever-loving mind, Shadow.
You're right.
Well, but my client wants that. You're out of your ever-loving mind, and it's your job to bring some reality. As what my kids call the reality sandwich. To sort of go, no, you ain't going to get it.
Right.
You aren't going to get it in court. You aren't going to get it in mediation. Let's be realistic about it. And the same thing goes for you. And you better talk because you're the ones who bring the reality.
This is fantastic. Yeah. We're running out of time, but I have one last thing just because I want to make sure we give you guys some love. You're going to be in another event here coming up soon, aren't you, in the start of April?
Yes, we're taking a couple of teams down to a West Coast competition at the University of Arizona at Tucson.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Seriously, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Well,
this
CJ,
was fun.
Thank you.
This was a great conversation.
Oh, it is. Thank you.
I only got to one of the questions I sent. But who needs questions when you have just a great time? And I had a great time with all of you today. We'll come back, wrap up the week that was tomorrow live at 9 for more of our daily show. So until then, go outside and enjoy the day. 60 degrees, but as always, try your best to stay out of jail.